So, all power to the people. I said all power to the people.
Power to people.
Come on, man. Y'all don't want no power? Huh? Shit. We got it, right? Anyways, like she said, my name is Kazi, Toure, and I work with Jericho. I'm a former political prisoner. And Jericho movement came about in 1998 to support all political prisoners locked up in the United States. A lot of people, when I go out speaking, they say, or if I say I'm a political prisoner, they say, from where? You know, like there's no political prisoners in the United States. Well, it wasn't until, I guess around 97, that Leonard Peltier was recognized finally as a political prisoner in this country. And, well, my charge is sedition, a seditious conspiracy. And I pled guilty to it because if I was going to go to prison, I might as well go for a political reason. It is a political offense, right? So when you hear these people talking about there's no political prisoners in this country, you need to check them. And since 9/11, there's over 1,000 people been disappeared in this country. You know, people with Muslim and Islamic surnames, they've been disappeared. Their families don't hear from them. There was a lot of people, Senator Conyers and some other people trying to get into court to see what was going on with their proceedings, and they were denied that. I began getting involved, I guess, a long time ago. But when I was about 13, I started rebelling against authority. And I refused to pledge allegiance in my homeroom class to the flag because it was a bunch of lies. Since then, rebelling against authority was replaced as I grew and started reading more, learning more, and finding out, scratching the surface and finding out what this country was all about. It became more moving towards a revolutionary than just rebelling against authority. And I guess through all those struggles, I finally joined an organization that led me down the track to being locked up, that was taking direct action against the government. And what I learned through these struggles is how change comes about in this country, and I guess a lot of places. The only way historical change has been known to come about is if people are willing to sacrifice. They have to sacrifice their comforts, man, to make change. You just can't sit back and write petitions or sign a leaflet or whatnot and think something's going to change, because these people ain't going to change. They're about making their money. One of the ways historically we saw that it happen was through the Mississippi bus boycott, when they changed segregation in the South. Those people walked for a year and didn't get on a bus. They walked for the entire year, cost the state a lot of money. Comes back to money. Cost them money. They was like, well, what do you people want? And people started sitting in at counters and whatnot to bring about some form of equality. Well, we still don't have it, so the struggle continues. But people have to find out new ways of bringing about that. You have to examine the history, because you got a rich history here of what's gone down throughout over the years, of us being brought here, of them coming here on the Native Americans. There's a lot of rich history here, but you have to dig for it, because they're not going to tell you. That's why they abolished reading and writing in the slave plantation. They don't want people finding out what they're really about. Okay, so you're going to have to really start examining some of those things. And I heard a brother talking about some of the things the Panther Party was doing in the past, and I think that's good. We made some mistakes, but we did some things right too. So take off of the things that we did right learn from the things we did wrong and try to elevate it to another level, because things are different now. Technology is different. There's a lot of things that's different, so you can't do some of the same things we did in the past. I want to talk a little bit about, I want to mention something that former two speakers talked about, and that's, I think one of the biggest problems in this country is racism. A lot of people are afraid to talk about it. A lot of people are afraid to bring it up, even. I guess since OJ's trial, you know, like, people are afraid to talk about racism because they don't want somebody to say, you playing a race card. Well, you know, that card was played a long time ago when they brought us here at the bottom of them ships. And the only thing that happened in OJ's case was, you know, people said, look, man, you know, whether OJ did it or not, you know, this is just a get back at what y'all been doing to us for like the last 400 years, you know? And if you can't take it, you know, you ought to like check it. You know, a lot of us been dying for a lot of years. Ain't nobody saying nothing about it. But time one little white person died, you people get upset. The same thing with 911, you know, with the World Trade Center. You know, like people have been, this government has gone all over the world practicing genocide against everybody, and don't nobody say nothing. They killed over 1 million babies in Iraq. You know, with the embargo, what happened? I mean, those babies died in the womb, man, you know, from starvation. But it's okay, right? But if anybody comes back and does something to the United States, slaps them down, slaps down a couple of towels and whatnot, everybody's upset and want to cry about it for the next 3 or 4 years, man. Come on. Come on, we ain't trying to hear that. You know, you do something, you're going to get something back. You know, and so it's a thing about, you got to like look at who's on the bottom. You know, who's the most oppressed people in a segment of society. And when you see those people that's on the bottom, you go to work to try and lift up the bottom, everything else comes up. You know? So if you want to live better, if you want a better life for yourself, then you better start working for those people that's on the bottom and raise their lives up, make their lives better, because then yours will be better. Okay? Jericho, sacrifice, RNC. Last summer, I spoke with Ward Churchill in Kansas. We were on a panel together, similar to a conference like this. And we got into a lot of different things, talking about what had went down after 9/11. And people in this country, like, they don't want, if you notice, like after 9/11, only one voice was coming out. And that was always saying, we want to like retaliate, we want to go get them, we want to hang them. And that's all you heard. There wasn't anybody saying anything different. Now, when people start to say something different, they jump on all over people. Like then, you know, with this Sam's thing, you know, like this shit is crazy, man. You know, like, if you think that, you know, we're not in prison in this